Yevamot, Perek Yud 12th chapter, second Mishnah, Mishnah Bet. חלצה בסנדל שאינה שלו. What happens if she did the chalitza, but the shoe wasn't his, של היבם? What do you mean it wasn't his? ששאל אותו מאדם אחר. He borrowed it from another person. Or another case, we said it has to be made out of leather. And this one was wood, but was covered with leather. Or בסנדל של עץ. So wood we already learned before that wood doesn't work. It has to be. But this was wood, the bottom, but it was covered with leather. It was, on the top. Or it was the wood itself was covered with leather, whatever it is. המחופה אור, it was covered with leather. או בשל שמאל בימין, or the left foot, it was a left foot shoe that was on the right foot, שחצה בסנדל של שמאל שהיה נתון ברגלו הימנית. It was left foot shoe that was put on his right shoe, on his right leg. In all these cases, חליצתה כשרה. The chalitza is kosher. So the Gemara, בגמרא אמרו, in the Gemara they said, שלכתחילה ראוי להיות שהסנדל שלו, that it's best if the shoe belongs to him. Why? Because the verse says, שנאמר, וחלצה נעלו, and she has to take off his shoe. So from that you should learn that it has to be his shoe. So it almost looks like it's from the Torah, it should be his shoe. So how come it says there? אלא שבדיעבד, but if she didn't, אף בסנדל שאינה שלו, even in a shoe that doesn't belong to him, חליצתה כשרה, the chalitza is still kosher. How come? ובברייתא שנו, so there's the ברייתא, that the ברייתא they add, and over there they explain, וחלצה נעלו, and she took off his shoe, it says specifically his shoe. אין לי אלא נעלו, I learned from this, only his shoe. She can do the mitzvah with, not somebody else's shoe. נעל שכל אדם מניין, how come over here you say he can borrow it, he can borrow some shoes? Talmud lomar, so it says, because it repeats. It later on says, na'al. Where does it say na'al later on? It says, beit chalutz hana'al. It says the house of the guy who was chalutz na'al, who his shoe was taken off. In other words, from there you learn, from the second time it says na'al, all it had to say is beit chalutz, you already know na'al. Yeah, the only thing we're talking about is the na'al. Why did it say na'al again? To teach you that it should be his shoe, but you should know that any other shoe, if somebody belongs to another shoe, it's also okay, b'diavad. Na'al mikol makom. Any shoe works out. Im ken. So therefore, now you have to go back. So what does na'alo mean, according to you?
His shoe.
Yeah, his shoe. Im ken, ma talmud lomar na'alo. So why did it teach you in the beginning now? Na'alo, his shoe. You're telling me doesn't have to be his shoe now. So it says, na'alo hara'ui lo. It means a shoe that befits him, that has to be fitting upon him. פרט לנעל גדול שאין יכול להלך בו. If the shoe is too big, he cannot walk in it. It doesn't work. או בפרט לקטן שאינו חופר רוב גדולו. Or the shoe is too small that cannot go on all of his foot. So what's na'alo? Na'alo means his size. His size. That fits him. That's what na'alo means. ופרט לסדל שאין לו עקב. Also it means a shoe without a heel. It needs to have a heel. חלצה בגדול. What happened if she does a חליצה in a big shoe? בסנדל שהיה גדול ממידת רגלו, with a shoe that was bigger than his size, שהוא יכול להלך בו. So it's in between. If he cannot walk on it, it's much too big, then for sure it's not good. But over here you can say, it's like, it's not his size, but he can walk. he can walk with it. שהוא יכול להלוך בו, ואינו נשמט מעל רגלו, he doesn't fly off his feet, it's not so big that he doesn't fly off his feet, או בקטן, או שמאל, בסנדל שהיא קטן ממידת רגלו, שהוא חופה את רוב רגלו, it's a small size, but it still covers most of the foot, it's like in between, מכסה את חליצתה כשרה, then the חליצה is still kosher, yeah. ברם, בת, לכתחילה, in the beginning, לא תחלוץ בגדול, שמא תבוא לחלוץ רפוי לגמרי, she shouldn't do it in a big shoe, because she's supposed to untie it, and over here, it's already untied, so she's not really untying it. ותהא חליצתה פסולה, and the חליצה is not good, וכן לא תחלוץ בקטן, so בקטן, what's the problem? Also, she should not do chalitza in a small shoe. Shema tavo lachlotz besaldal, because maybe she's going to come to take off a shoe, she'eino chofe et rov raglo, that it doesn't cover the majority of his foot. And that's going to be kosher at all. So it's 56% this time, next time she's going to do 49%, and it's not going to be good. B'chaltzila psula. Okay, next one. Chalza balayla, she did the chalitza at night, chalitzata kshera. It's a kosher chalitza. In other words, it's not a commandment that has to do with the day. Sha'chalitza hi kegmar din. Now, usually, why would you think that it has to do that it has to be during the day? Because there's a halacha that beit din only are in session during the day. That's the halacha. So if she can only do chalitza in front of Beit Din, she cannot do it at night. That's what the conclusion is. But he says, so over here it says, no, if she does it at night, it's still kosher. So the question is why? Veshaninu dinei mamonot danim bayom vegomrim balayla. So even though there's a halacha that you only the court is only open during the day, but if the session goes into the night, they're allowed to finish the court case, to give the psak din. If there's more discussion, they have to stop and continue the next day. But if it's already finished the discussion, you just have to give psak din, you can do it at night. That's right. You don't have to push it for the next day. V'yesh bechalitza mishum dinei mamonot. But it says over here, we're not talking about laws of money. It has to do with... it has to do... No, you would think that it doesn't have to do with money. It has to do with relationships. There's no money involved. No. There is a little bit money involved over here also. Yesh b'chalitza mishum dinei mamonot. In chalitza there's also money involved. Ho'il vehi guba ktubata. Because she gets the money that's written in her ktuba. Okay. Rabbi Eliezer posel. Rabbi Eliezer disagrees. And he says the chalitza is not kosher if it was done at night. שלדעתו החליצה כתחילת דין היא. Because according to him, the chalitza is not the end of the judgment, it's just the beginning of the judgment. והלכה כרבי אליעזר. And the halacha is like Rabbi Eliezer. It is the beginning, it's not the end. Okay? בשמאל, חלצה, now, לכתחילה she needs to take off the right shoe. The guy's right leg. Yeah? Right leg. בשמאל, חצה את הסנדל מרגלו השמאלית של היבם, she took off his left shoe, or his left leg, from his left leg, חליצתה פסולה. The חליצה is not kosher, שלמדים בגזרה שווה רגלו ממצורע. Because also a leper, it says his leg, so you learn from the leper his leg. What does it learn? מה שם ימינית, just like by a leper, you do something with the right hand. I'm not quite sure what is referring to the leper, but whatever rule applies, it needs to be with the leper with the right foot. שכן במצורע נאמר, ועל בוין רגלו הימנית. Oh, in a leper it says that I think you have to put, to touch, or to put oil, or whatever the case is. Whatever the case, I'm not quite sure, but it has to be on his right foot. So just like, since it says raglo by Metzora, and it says raglo over here, you learn from Metzora, just like the Metzora is with the right foot, this one is also with the right foot. אף כאן ימנית. ורבי אליעזר מכשיר, Rabbi Eliezer says it is kosher, chalitza beregel השמאלית. In other words, he doesn't learn it from a leper. He learns it from somewhere else, whatever it is. So therefore he says, chalitza is kosher in the left leg. שאינו לומד ממצורע. Like we said, he doesn't learn from the case of מצורע, he learns it from somewhere else. But אין הלכה כמותו. The halacha is not like Rabbi Eliezer, so therefore left leg chalitza is not kosher. And probably, he didn't discuss, but I think if the person is a lefty, then it's going to be the opposite.
Might be.
I think so, because in tefillin it's the same. That's the way it is. With the tefillin, they say a lefty, his left hand is his right hand. So I think it will just use the same logic.